Hey everybody, welcome to Comic Channel Origins. My name is Bryant, and this is on the I Have Comic Issues channel. And today I have the honor of having Randy from Swarm of Comics, who is my guest today. Let me bring Randy in here as soon as I figure out how to do this again. All right. Hey, hey,
Oh,
Randy. Oh,
oh, you
did I
should
catch
have
you
given
at a
some
bad
warning.
time?
I need some warning there.
All right. And all right, we already got some people in the chat. We got Cliff on Comics. He's first.
Hi, Cliff.
Hey, Cliff. And then we got JSS Brooklyn. Good evening. And like he says, hit the like button, follow button, and please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Swarm on Comics. Please do. He has a lot of great content, and we're going to talk about all that tonight. And also, we got Digger Jim. Hey, Digger, how are you doing, Jim? All right, Randy, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to do this on Sunday.
Marcel.
Hello,
Sorry,
how
I'm
are
just
you?
going to randomly shout things out. It's not my place. I'm sorry.
No problem. You can go ahead. They like your background, your office.
Thank you. That's technically my wife's crafting table. I had
Okay.
to move all of her crafting stuff off of it because she was loaded up. I said, I have a podcast to do.
All right. So we'll get into it because if we don't, the chat's gonna swallow us up. I'm pretty sure. And now they're talking to each other. And speaking of which, at the end of this, after this video processes on the YouTube side, Randy, I'm going to send you a link for a collaboration, so this can be on both of our channels.
I love it. Oh, that's great. Thank you.
But I can't send it to you until after YouTube has finished processing. So,
Fine.
if we were doing vertical live stream, I could do the go live with, but I don't know how to do that. So, all right. First question I got for you today is, what inspired you to start your comic book YouTube channel, and what was your very first video?
That is a fantastic question. I love this story. So I have I'm going to tell it as fast as I can because if anybody in the chat knows me, by the way, if I'm going too long, I told Rob's Fat Stacks to do the same thing. Just do this, Randy. Land the plane. Land the plane.
I mean, my wife's is out of town, so, and I'm off tomorrow, so you can talk as long as you want.
Good. I love it. Well, I started going to yard sales and some things to try and pick up comics. I started wanting to get more serious instead of just reading my monthly books, to start adding more to my collection. I said, I've been collecting for a long time. I want to start getting into more golden age books, which I never really dipped my toes in the water on. And I started going to yard sales, flea markets, estate sales. And I was at a flea market and I ran into a guy who was waiting. The people at the yard sale said, it starts at 7:30. Do not even set 1 foot. We knew they had comic books. Do not even set 1 foot in our driveway until 7:30. And then it was mayhem, everybody running in. But I met this guy, Tom Anderson, and he's on Instagram. His handle there is the Silver Age Comics with like underscores in between. Okay. And he said to me, he goes, hey, do you do pressing and submitting and to CGC? And I said, I know nothing about it. I have one slabbed book because I bought it from a friend who just offered it to me like 10 years ago. I knew nothing about the climate. I knew nothing about the comic boom. I knew nothing about pressing or CGC. I didn't know what a pressable defect is. Now you hear me on my channel, I think I'm an expert, but 2 years ago, I knew literally nothing. And that's how I got started. He said to me, I do pressing and I have an account to CGC. We even share the account. I pay half for the elite membership, so we get faster and cheaper. He submits his stuff for himself and for friends, and he submits stuff for me. And he does such an amazing job. I hope Tom sees this later or it tunes in here, because he's been so good to me and taught me so much. And we had the best conversations. We sit and we talk when we get together to talk comics, and you swear it was a 3-hour podcast. We should have just been recording it because it's so fun.
That might be some future content for you.
Exactly. There it is. Silver Age. No, I don't think that's him. let me see. Let me double check. So I see the chat and I don't want to just get distracted by it,
Yes.
but it's
The Instagram.com, the silver underscores,
it's
the underscore. So,
it's the Silver Age Comics with underscores between them. I think that's where it stops. I think it's
oh,
just the Silver Age of Comics. Okay. We'll find that. We'll get to that.
all
And
right.
thank you for pulling that up. I want
Thank you,
to
JSS.
the he said to me, listen, if you think about you want to submit any books, let me know. So I started digging through my collection. Now I had sold the majority of my collection, like 30,000 comics years before. I just kept a handful, a couple of short boxes of stuff that I really wanted to hang on to. And even then I didn't have a great inventory of it. And I, spoiler, had no clue how much anything I had was worth. Honestly,
Okay.
that's a funny story about when I did my unboxing. And he said to me, hey, when you get the CGC back, why don't you record it and throw it on YouTube? People like that stuff. I'd never seen an unboxing. I was clueless, and I don't know how I was so clueless. I just bought my monthly comics, read my monthly comics, and when I was in my comic store, they'd have cool stuff on the wall. I'm like, oh, I need that for my collection. I'd just buy it. And what happened was I got them back, and I decided to film it. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, you found it, the Silver Age Comics.
He's the
And
researcher and the
yeah,
moderator extraordinaire.
I love it. So long story longer, I got this submission back and I wanted to do the creme de la creme of the books. And I honestly didn't really know what any of them were worth. And what Tom said to me afterwards is he says, they did not ding you for any of them being high value books. He goes, and I don't know how you did that. So I got them back. And I remember that there was a bunch of them in there, but it was like Amazing Spider-Man 18, the first Green Goblin, the
Oh,
first appearance of Galactus in Fantastic Four, first issue of Iron Man, not first Iron Man. I don't have that. Um, Avengers #4, which is my first big boy comic I ever gotten back in 1990, and Hulk 181. I mean, it was a thing of bangers, and I'm pulling them out. If you watch the video, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It came back a 5, whatever. Couldn't have told you if it was worth $10, and I was just naive and clueless. So that was my first submission.
that
I was
that is a
really
hell of a
encouraged by
first
Tom to
video.
record it. Yeah. 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 It was a hell of a first video for sure.
Good God. I mean, do you happen to know what your total viewership might have been on that one?
It was funny because it was in a couple of hundred, and it was
Okay.
like my first. And so I tell anybody who's starting a YouTube channel, my friend Greg Alonge started a YouTube channel. Everyone's interesting. I appeared on that. Hey, Greg. And also my friend Rick, he started a new channel talking about G-Shock watches, and they're starting new. And I saw the same thing with them that I saw with me. Everybody's excited and wants to jump on board when you put your first video out. You're posting on Facebook and you're telling your friends, everybody watch my video. Then your second one comes out, and your third one comes out, and your fourth one comes out, and your numbers go down here. Like I was unboxing, Spider-Man in the first 10 issues, and nobody was watching the videos at first. It was, in the dozens of views. So
Well, I would think that with that particular first video that you did, if those were all the ones that you unboxed, it's kind of like everybody's expecting gold from there on out.
right. Yeah, exactly. And we sort of changed it up. Tom, I gave Tom all of my comics I wanted slabbed, and I give him all of them. He presses them, he gets them ready, and when he submits them to CGC, I don't know what he's submitting. So they're
Okay.
always a surprise to come back. And it's a mix. Modern, if it's a bunch of modern stuff, it's just a mix of things when it comes back. So it's not like always going to be a whole box of bangers every single time. Like we stopped like just doing it like that. And that's a really good point. Everybody's expecting that from now on. Everything was going to be Hulk #1.
Does does he still do that? Like submit them and you not know what you're
Yeah.
actually going to be getting back?
Yep.
Maybe in your titles going forward, you should say your CGC mystery box.
I love it. Anything catchy.
Because that, well, I mean, people
Click.
love mystery boxes,
Yeah.
especially videos and title wise.
That's cool. I could do like modern age mystery box back from CGC.
Yeah. So
Oh, yes. So I will say this really quickly because people are pointing out the books behind me. I hope my head's not blocking too many of them. But this is where I used to do my videos. So if you watch my old videos, I used to be here in my office at my desk with my webcam. But recently I moved downstairs to my finished basement and I have a whole wall of comics. Like Rob's Fat Stacks, his the Great Wall of Comics. Mine's like the okay wall of comics. But I still work up here and I'm on calls at work all day long. So I still kept some books up here. It's a weird mix of books. Oh, there's the Amazing Spider-Man First Green Goblin up there.
Okay.
Um, Tom was so scared of pressing that because it's very brittle and came back at 1.8. He goes, dude, that was the most terrifying pressing I ever did in my life.
Yeah, I have an X-Men 2 that's probably less than a 1.8 that I need to get graded, and that it needs to be graded just to preserve it.
You preserve it. Exactly.
Yeah. So other than like shooting for the moon on your very first video, was there another specific moment or video that you felt like your channel might have taken off? Or
Yeah, but it took a while. It took a while. You know, there was a video I put out. I was trying to think of content. I can't just do CGC unboxings all the time. I'd never watched YouTube channels before for comics except the one from my local comic shop, the Comic
okay,
Book Palace channel. Because sometimes I'm in those videos. If I'm in the store and I'm talking, they'll edit me and put them in. I'm probably in 4 or 5 of them. There's one video that came out a month or two ago, and the whole video was just me talking. You can see my big dorky glasses and everything. But the videos, what hit for me was I was looking for content and I decided to do my top 10 Bronze Age comics. And I really was starting to get creative with my thumbnails, and it was a parody of Giant Size X-Men #1. Because of course that's in your top 10 best Bronze Age books if you have it right.
right.
And for some reason that caught on. And that one got thousands of views. You know, I went from getting sometimes in the 2-digit views to thousands for that video. Somebody asked thumbnails how important those are to the success of the video. I think they can be very successful. And I think that one proves it because who really, you don't even know me. Why do you care what my top 10 Bronze Age books are? You know, or maybe you do, but I think the thumbnails can be catchy and interesting and in a clickbaity way or in just a really catching, colorful way that draw people in. If I
Yeah.
see something creative and fun, I'll click on it.
Well, I mean, here's the way I look at the whole YouTube video package deal. You make your video, and that's the contents, and your title and your thumbnail is the packaging.
Yep.
And if your packaging looks like shit, nobody's going to click on it to see the beautiful content that you have inside.
Right.
So the thumbnail is very important, and the title is very important also. So I mean, that you have to have all that working together to actually get somebody to make that one click. And then you got to hope that you have a great video to keep them on the video for longer than 30 seconds.
Right. The outside of a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, you want it to be very nice looking, very elegant. You know, you can't just look like a dump. You want people to get in and sample what you have. Do you mind if I answer questions when I see them pop up?
Yeah, no problem.
And
Yeah,
by the
no.
way, thank you so much for having me on and reaching out. It's been awesome talking to you before and chatting with you here. I've never done podcasts before. I did Rob's Only Slabs. That was great. So I was so happy to come on. So thank you,
Oh,
Brian.
you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
I'm going to give the most cliche answer ever of what's the best part of your channel growing. Thank you, Garth, for asking that question. And I hate that it's just going to be this generic. This, I answer comments to every single one that people put on my videos, and I enjoy it. There's no trolls. There's no garbage. People have great stuff to tell me. I learn from them. People are just happy and having fun, and I honestly get excited when I see it. And that is Darth Shredder. Yes, we did not talk about any Black Cat books yet. So,
Okay.
but the best part of my channel growing is I'm not going to use the word community because I haven't got myself deep enough into the community. And it's you would say one of the things I want to grow about my channel is be closer to the community. But just people around the world, there's people who are who comment from Australia and the UK and all over, and I find that fascinating the way we reach out around the world. So I'm sorry if that was the goofy, touchy feely answer, but I it really does mean a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. People are fun.
No, I will reiterate what you're saying, but it's about the connections, and I'm going to say what you didn't say. It's about the community because it's I mean, where I live, I don't have that many people, or I don't work with anybody that really cares that much about the Avengers movie or about the X-Men or
Yep.
comic books or Superman. Like something that's cool, one or two here or there. But in this, with YouTube, I now have people I can talk to about comic books.
Same
And
Same here. I have not a single person to talk to about comic books. If I'm not at the comic book store or on my channel, there's never a comic book conversation. I
right,
know, spoiler, surprise, my wife, who I love, hello, has no interest in hearing about my comic books or talking about them.
yeah. Oh, here's the link to your Only Slabs video.
Oh, cool. Excellent. I thought that was a lot of fun. I will tell you really quickly beforehand. Rob said, pick out your best 20 slabs that you want to talk about. And we have an hour and a half. And I said, Rob, you ain't getting through 20 slabs. He goes, no, it'll be fine. We've got plenty of time, whatever we want to do. We got 14 slabs in. And he goes, maybe we do a part two another time.
Yeah, you have the gift for gab. Are you the front man for your band?
I am the front man for my band, Swarm of Eyes, which is where I very lazily got the title for my comic book channel in a panic last minute when I was just throwing up my first video. But I am Swarm of Eyes. I am the lead screamer, yeller, growler, whatever you want to call it, but don't use the word singer because I don't want to insult anybody who has actual talent.
Well, as I said before we went live about what R&D stood for in my previous job,
Yeah.
rip off and duplicate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you ripped off and duplicated your own band's name for your YouTube channel, and hey, you did that from yourself, so that's perfectly acceptable. So,
I love
I mean, you got the paperwork that says you can do it, so you're good.
it. Right.
Uh, um, so, how did you find? I mean, you kind of stumbled into your niche, or did you actually? Do you think you found your niche in the comic book community or comic book YouTube space yet? Or are you still
No,
trying to grow it?
no, funny enough, I don't think I have. I think that I mean, I've found my niche and I feel like my niche is I learned to try and just be myself. Which is really funny because if you watch my videos, I didn't know what I was doing. And as I started posting videos, other comic channels started coming into my feed and I started watching them and I started R&Ding them. What can I rip off and and steal? But I was mostly
Duplicate.
duplicate, right? Thank you. I was attracted to the YouTubers that felt honest, that loved the hobby. They weren't trying to get clicks. They weren't trying to get famous. They weren't trying to get views. They just liked talking about comic books. And I didn't try and go for that niche. I just said, oh, that's what I am. I just want to talk like me and talk about things I like. But
Mhm.
the funny part is that my video is not rehearsed at all. I have no notes. If you ever watch it, you'll know because I make fun of myself for it. But I do rehearse and sort of script in my mind my little intro, my little clickbaity intro, what's coming up before the stuff comes in. That's the hardest thing because it's me, but it's not me. I'm sort of reading and trying to do something catchy to pull you in to watch the video. And that's the hardest part. Sometimes I record, no lie. One time I recorded 44 different versions of an intro before I finally got it right. I did, and it was a disaster. But I want something that sounds a little scripted for the beginning. But
Right.
once I get into it, I just like to be myself. And I guess that's my niche. But I still don't know if I've found it. Like it's just comic books and being me, you know?
Well, there is a request for a sequel of you on Only Slabs.
All right.
So
Insist.
somebody reach out to Rob and schedule it. I think February. I think that's where he's scheduling for right now. So if you're available, and then Amber says
Raz
she
Al
loves
Ghul.
your, yeah, loves your channel. You tell great stories. Alex wants to know if the Swarm of Eyes podcast scratches the itch as the band.
Yes. Yeah. And what it is my band is, we're in an age and we're in a world where people have families, boats, houses, lawns to mow. There's just not time. When I was first in a band in the early 90s, we were doing band practice 2 or 3 times a week. I was in a band with this guy, met Jim Ash. We were called Despair, spelled like the evil villain in Marvel Comics, actually. And he was a great guy, Jim Ash. We were in the band for like 6.5 years. We practiced all the time. We played any gig we could get any night of the week, but we were young. Now it's like maybe we play a couple of times over the winter and we practice when we can. And it's very hard. People have multiple projects and life going on. And this certainly does scratch that itch of creativity and social interaction. So that's, I hadn't really thought about it, but this is definitely Swarm of Ice. That is my band.
Yeah, if you could, JSS.
Hey, not to interrupt, but Bronze Age Bill just joined, who co-hosted me many times. My brother, Bronze Age Bill.
Okay.
My brother is a writer. He put out a novel. He works for Harvard. He's incredibly smart and well-spoken and well-written. And he responds with hello. That's it. That's all we got out of Bronze Age Bill. Hello.
He's been in some of your videos before, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I specifically remember one where y'all had a lot of Daredevil books.
Yes. Oh, he even corrected me. You're right. You can and do talk to your brother about comics. We do. When we get together, he has to hear me talk about comics, and we love the nostalgia about comics. Daredevil was our biggest bonding one
Okay.
when we were kids. I like things like G.I. Joe. He liked things like Indiana Jones in the comic books, and then we both just loved Daredevil. I mean, we like Daredevil probably as much, if not more than anything, more than Spider-Man or Superman or anything like that. That it was. I mean, it had ninjas in it. Come on.
Daredevil's fun, especially that original Netflix TV show when he went down the hallway.
The hallway scene, which was influenced by maybe Old Boy or a different The Raid. Somebody, please, if you can think about it, that whole scene was a parody. Isn't the right word? It was an ode to another movie, an Asian movie, where they did that same scene. That's what they took that from.
Oh, okay. But
Once again, Randy's unprepared with any research, so I don't know the actual answer, but I know there's something there.
Well, I did not give you that question in the preparedness part of the segment, so it's completely understandable. All right. JSS saying hit the like button. Say no to Bill and Amber. All right. Oh boy. So
the hallway fight scene with the hammer, yeah.
All right. So other than bringing out the big books for your very first video, what comic book content performs best on your channel, and why do you think that is? And just FYI, you're okay. I was gonna say your camera changed on you.
Just it changes, and all of a sudden it'll go to this. I mean, you're gonna see a bed. I mean, there's nothing. You see more books.
It's creative editing.
Yeah.
It's being produced on the fly.
So the comic book content that performs best on my channel, I keep thinking I figure it out, but without a doubt, the best content, if you want to call it this, correct me if I'm not answering what you're expecting. The best content is bad news.
Oh yeah, I mean drama
and bad news people love, and I'm not shy. I embrace that in the packaging. I don't want bad news. I don't get paid to do any of this. I don't want bad grades so I can get 250 more views. But it's what you have to use your tools. One of my albums for Swarm of Eyes, if you guys go there at Bandcamp to find it, or Spotify, we have an album called "We Go to War with the Weapons We Have." It was a Donald Rumsfeld quote, but the quote was good. We go to war with the weapons we have, not the weapons we wish we had. And that's what my album is about. We go to war every day in our lives to survive. And whatever tools you have in the toolbox or you have. And if I have to be a little clickbaity with bad news. Listen, I've already got the bad news. I might as well use it to my advantage to pull people and they don't, that maybe they don't know me or didn't think to click on my video because a Wolverine helmet unboxing wasn't interesting. But boy, what happened with CGC and this guy? What did he get? What happened?
Hey, I actually watched that helmet unboxing video.
Thank you.
I'm one of the 5, maybe. I don't know.
I wish I thought of it before because I had like 20 other helmets I unboxed and didn't think to record it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty interesting, especially the thumbnails. Like that, the thumbnails what got my attention. So, and speaking about the bad news versus drama, I mean, there is a difference between bad news videos and drama videos, and I think bad news videos are fine, but if you're doing drama videos or like trolling videos,
Right.
those, I mean, that's just a pain in the ass. I mean,
If I could, there was a video that I put out recently, actually on Halloween. I came with a thumbnail, is kind of a double feature horror movie poster looking thumbnail for that. But it does hint at drama in there. And it was a little bit of fun, fake drama at my comic store. So guys, if you haven't watched that, go watch that video. But I say in the video that it's about my local comic shop. He said to me, "Hey, you're in my videos all the time and you post videos all the time about what comic book stores you're in, but you never talk about my store. You never give me any credit of anything." And we had to talk it out and hug it out. But one of the things I said in it is the last third point at the end of the video, spoiler, I said, okay, Amber, stop making me laugh. You guys are distracting me. I said at the end of the video, I didn't want drama to drive people to my channel. My local comic shop is the Comic Book Palace, Glenn, and he had some drama last year on Twitter where people misinterpreted something he said about creators, and there was a massive hubbub about it. I mean, it was everywhere. He went on Mark Millar's podcast to talk to him about it. I mean, this was huge.
okay.
But a lot was in the negative column for him. People were calling for his head, lynching him. And I suddenly saw Sticky Goose and Swaggle House with my friend Glenn in my comic shop in their thumbnails and their videos. And I said, what is this hubbub? So I purposely didn't bring it up because I didn't want people to say, oh, he goes to that comic shop. Is there drama? I didn't want anybody going there. So
Right.
I agree. There's a difference between drama and bad news or what happened or like whetting people's appetites for, something interesting going on. Negativity. Not negativity. That's a tough word, but.
Oh yeah, like my most popular video that I've had was one. It was about that I got scammed, and it has like 10,000 views.
Wow.
I mean, but I guess the video came out right before the whole CGC slabbing controversy that happened like a year or two ago.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all my video said was it had scammed in there, and CGC in the algorithm thought it
Yep.
was about everything else, so it just shot up.
Yep.
And I missed the boat because I didn't make a lot more videos at that time, so I missed all the watch hours because that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So it still
Yep.
gets views, but not nearly as much as it did
Yeah.
back then.
I had one where I had bad CGC. I thought there were bad CGC grades, and I was pretty pissed about it. Not to use potty words on there, but they that video got like 7,000 views. I think that was my most viewed one. The thumbnail was even terrible, but I think I even made fun of myself and put little captions that said clickbait title and clickbait face because I was like mad or something like that. Just make my niche might be self-deprecating, because we're just fun. We're just having fun. This isn't serious or anything like that. But yeah, that video drove people there. It might be a case of like, well, I got the bad news. What are you going to do? Might as well have some fun with it.
Oh, he's already found the video or some links to
Video.
videos.
Yeah.
You're quick, JSS.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to just say real fast, is my brother Bill still there? Bill, if you're still there, comment. He will. He'll comment if he's still there.
All right.
But Bronze Age Bill, he's my best bud, and I need to have him up because I have a surprise for him. So he's got to get up here when he finds time. He's got 2 beautiful children and a wife and a job and a band, but I want to get him up here to come visit me soon and do a video. So
All right. And then Amber says it's authenticity and humbleness.
Those don't even sound like real words. Those are too big words. Those sounds like $10 words to me, Amber.
I think she's talking about you.
Hey, my brother Bill. Just saying, hey, buddy.
Okay.
Hello to everybody. Thank you guys for joining. This is amazing.
So I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm pretty sure you're going to answer it the same as everybody else has in the past. But how do you balance what you love to talk about with what the algorithm wants?
How do I would say that, and this is definitely an issue that I think every creator faces. It's funny because you say everybody kind of has a story about it, but I had to come to the realization that I just wasn't going to get as many views if I posted things that were I just liked. There has to be some balance of being an influencer. I'm not an influencer, but that idea. People want to see content. When you see a commercial for the latest TV show on CBS, they don't just say, yeah, it's a TV show about a family. They just don't.
Right.
So I've definitely had to, because the algorithms, I can tailor what I want to meet the algorithms in a way. You know, comic books, CGC, unboxings, like those things are hot. People like those things. So it hasn't actually been that much of a stretch. It's just how you, I think, market yourself. I haven't had to tailor what I talk about because I've also come to at peace with there's going to be things I talk about that aren't going to get a lot of views.
Right.
Helmet unboxings aren't ever going to get me 6,000 views, but I'm still passionate about it and I still want to do it. There's a great guy, Gino Talks. I love his videos. He doesn't get tons of views, but I like him and I like his videos. And I see some of those, and he's been around for a while and he just plows away. There's another guy, Dazzy's Comics. I think he's in the UK. And he puts out like a video every day. He knows he's not going to get a million views every day. He's just doing what he loves. So they kind of help me come to peace that there's just going to be videos where I'm just not going to get a lot of views, and that's okay. Uh, you know,
Yeah, it's all about connecting.
yeah, connecting with the tribe.
Yeah, I've been trying to make a lot of videos. I don't know if I've been doing for the last 2 months a daily video about comic book news, and I think I'm actually going to stop doing that because
Okay.
I've done some research or looking into the analytics. It's like it's actually there's not. I mean, it's a lot of work to do it.
Yeah.
It takes about 2 to 3 hours after I'm done with my regular job to do that,
Yeah.
uh, and which takes up a lot of time. But the return, like, it's not getting a lot of views, and it's also a very short or very small uh, window since it's
Right.
about daily comic book news.
Right.
Then it's like a 24-hour news cycle. So
Yep.
if it doesn't hit, then there's nothing. And it's like put in a lot of time. Like these interviews or what I'm doing here has a lot more bang for the buck
Without
on
a doubt.
actually in the YouTube algorithm aspect of things. And
Yep.
it's a lot more entertaining to actually talk to somebody than try to uh, read read news articles and try to make it sound cool and stuff like that. So,
Well, funny enough that I started wanting to do something I'm calling Randy's Rundown, and I love how terrible that name is. But it's not going to be a weekly thing. It's not going to be a daily thing. It's going to be when I get to it thing. And it just might be too late. Like I talked about Absolute Batman. Well, Absolute Batman's on like issue 13. I'm not current, but I just caught up to it. It's sort of like, hey, what have I been reading here? And I know that that's going to be a lower views.
right,
Again, there's no drama there, and so forth. But I felt like I'm okay with that because it's not a lot of work. The thumbnail is actually probably more work than anything. I can talk about the books, get my thumbnail together, editing pretty quick and those out once a week and share what I'm reading. And that's again, building more community, getting some more content out there in there. And I said, listen, if I get 100 views, who cares? Because that's 100 people that care about reading comics. And listen, to anybody watching this, you'll hear me say this all the time. You do what you do. I have zero judgment. I like reading my comics. I like collecting comics. I like slabbing comics. And I like comics for investment purposes. I'm not against any of those things. I do them all. I don't sell any books yet,
Right.
and I get, but I do also read comics. That's why I try to see. I'm trying to find a catch. Like the running joke on my channel is I have no catchphrase to end the video. Some people have cool catchphrases and I don't. I've actually embraced how awkward I am, but I just say, go read some comics, read some comics. And I said, well, if I'm going to talk about that, if I'm going to say that, let's talk about comics. So if I get 100 viewers instead of 6,000, those 100 people want to see what other people are reading and learn about stuff. Because the way I learn about stuff is I go in the store and something catches my eye on a shelf. Sometimes I miss out on things because I just didn't hear about it. And now I'm buying fourth printing of it, which is also fine. But
Yeah.
so I started doing those videos but I had to think about, is it worth doing that content and the time? And to me, it is.
Okay. Um, so do you read mainly floppies or do you read anything digitally?
I don't. Actually, the reason I got my first iPad was to start reading them digitally, so I didn't have to have piles and piles of comic books anymore. And I read one comic digitally, and I hated it. I
Okay.
hated it so much. Granted, now tablets are much bigger than they were a long time ago when that happened, but um, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I want to take up tons of my comic books. I sometimes just give them back to my comic shop, or he gives me a credit of like $10 for a box. Or maybe I want to take them to like a boys club and the kids can read them or something like that. Do some of them. People can share them. Sitting in my basement isn't doing anything, but it still hasn't pushed me to go digital. Digital is great for if I just can't find an issue and I don't want to buy it with $6.99 shipping on eBay. I'm like, you know what? I missed one issue of Thor. I'll just read it digitally. So, and it
Um,
has a place.
have you heard of the Hoopla app?
No, I'm
H
so
H
outdated.
O O P L A Hoopla,
Hoopla.
and it's a free app. And as long as you have a library card, you can log in and you can download comic books or check out comic books.
Cool. I'm going to look into it.
Single issues, trade paperbacks, omnibuses. I would
Great.
recommend doing the omnibuses because you only get 5 books that you can check out a month.
Okay.
So if you get the
Bang for your
omnibus,
buck with an omnibus.
yeah, get the big bang for your buck.
Like for
Here,
now, I have to. I'm reading. I was starting to read Blood and Thunder, which I actually liked. If you guys haven't read Blood and Thunder, I read the first 3 issues and I really liked it. It's an
okay.
interesting sci-fi, other planetary thing. But I missed issue like 4, and now I have 5 and 6. And I'm like, oh God, I just can't find this in one. And I don't want to buy it on my comic shop with $6.99 shipping and plus the price of the book. So that's something I'll go and try and find digitally like that.
Okay. Digger Jim says picking a day and time, consistency is important. And
So
yeah,
I'm going to agree with you. And that's why I've started to do my weekly videos at about 10 a.m. on Fridays. I got a lot of feedback from people saying, oh, cool. Friday, I want to kick back at lunchtime and watch something and relax. And here's a Randy video. Here's a Swarm of Comics video. And I said, all right, let me try and get something out without any pressure, to do it. If I don't, I don't. But I wanted to do that, Digger Jim, is try and be consistent. But I do want to say, like maybe a lot of content creators, I have not figured out any magic formula because I've even had videos with CGC unboxings with bad news that don't get a lot of views. And I'm mystified. I try to do so much research about what's the best day to put out. I have a friend who's in a band, a very famous band, and he's one of my best friends. And we do all the Marvel Comics movies and Star Wars movies together when we go and
you
everything
can
like
name
that.
drop if you want.
No, absolutely not. But his band, his people that manage the social media are very specific about when they put out content. They love Saturdays between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. For them in the music business, they've figured out that is the most bang for the buck for them. So I've gone back and forth with trying lots of different ways to figure out how to beat the algorithms and get out there. I think consistency is helping, but I just haven't found that magic formula
I
yet.
think Darth just gave you your niche. Um,
Oh
goes
yes,
out.
I really do love oddball stuff, and a couple of people comment and like that weird, goofy stuff. I remember Darth does as well. If you watch my video, like I have issue number 7 of Dixie Dugan in like an 8.5 or something silly. Like I'm digging into Golden Age comics, which is what led me down this path. I, I'm finding so many things I just didn't know about. Growing up, we just maybe in the stores or talking to people, maybe you got as far back as the Silver Age, maybe. But I just didn't know enough about the Golden Age stuff, and I learned so much from these channels and from digging in and finding out new books. And I love these oddball, weird things, these companies that I just never heard of. It reminds me back in the day where we've got Chevy, Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, we've got the car companies. But back in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, there was hundreds of car companies. And I loved learning about those oddball automobile companies or motorcycle companies too, that put out really cool, different, weird things like, a Packard or a Tucker or something like that. Yes, and don't forget handsome. I'm handsome and humble.
Oh, here's the handsome one.
So yeah, I mean, definitely, I try to embrace the weird stuff. I don't know if I get more views based on it, but again, views don't always matter to me. And I think for a while, my wife said to me, "Why do you want to do this? Why do you want more views? Why do you think you need more subscribers?" And I honestly didn't have an answer for it. I don't know. But it is honestly this sharing and learning. I learned so much from the comments. It's My viewers are so good to correct me because I am terrible at doing any research, mostly because, again, all the way back to the beginning, is I don't know what books I'm getting back from CGC, so I'm not prepared with any information about them.
Right.
And that's half the fun.
I don't know if you know Mark from Legion of Comics, or if you've seen any of his videos.
I think so. Legion of Comics.
One thing he said, and I agree with him. Subscriber numbers are actually like a vanity number. There's only two number milestones that really matter, and that's 500 or 1,000. Anything after that is just purely icing on the cake. It doesn't really matter. Then it's all about your watch hours or your views are the numbers that you really need to worry about after that, because
Yep.
subscriber numbers, the only ones that YouTube cares about, are 500 or 1,000.
Got it.
And
I
because
am creeping up on 1,000.
yeah, you're close, aren't you?
937 as far as I remember. And then somebody in the comments said they subscribed. So maybe we're at 938. And I really should do a giveaway. My friend I mentioned earlier, my friend Rick on his channel for Cracks in Time, he does G-Shock watches. He just did a giveaway and it bumped his subscribers way up. He was very excited about that. So I want to do that same thing. I have a giveaway. I have plenty of books that I would definitely, if somebody was interested, I would love to give away. So I might do that. I might do a giveaway in this week or next week or something.
Yeah, Jim, or Digger, I completely agree with you. And on the lives, it all depends on having the right guest coming on board.
Yeah.
So, because right now, I think I have the highest viewership that I've ever had concurrently.
That's not true. Lunch Money Comics was through the roof. That guy knows.
I think it got I mean, it's got a long play afterwards, but I really don't know that we broke the 20 concurrent video or concurrent streamers. So it might be
We
the
beat
tattoos.
Lunch Money Comics, everybody, but beat him into the ground.
It might be the tattoos. I don't know.
I don't know. He's a really good guy. I've met him at the Comic Cons up here in the
Oh yeah.
Northeast. And he's honestly, we had lunch one day. I just intruded on their lunch and sat down, and he's honestly really nice and very cool. His is one of the first channels that I saw, and I love what he had done for the community and everything he does. I don't know how he finds that much time. Honestly.
Yeah.
You know, Lunch Money Comics guy, go home and see your wife and kids. Don't get fired.
Yeah, I think I used one of your video, or one of your. I ripped off and duplicated one of your photos for my Instagram post.
Yeah,
That was
that was the photo at the Old School Comic Con up in Concord, New Hampshire. That is literally just comic books,
okay.
to the point where the guy who runs it, who's super nice, Jason, like, is so militant about being just comic books. I'm like, okay, we ease off that a little bit, but it is a really good show, and Lunch Money Comics goes there, so it was nice meeting him.
Are you East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast. I'm in New England.
Okay. Okay. So
Yep.
you are actually he's in New England also. So you're very
He's
close
in
to him.
Western Mass, and I'm up in New Hampshire.
Okay. Well, you should probably, if you're available next June, you should probably go to Charlotte, North Carolina to go to Heroes Con because
Well,
apparently
I
that's
know.
where all the YouTubers go.
Oh, that I would definitely do that because my parents live in South Carolina, so it'd be fun to go down and see them, and then, head over to North Carolina. It might be
I,
fun to rent a car and
I
drive.
know that Lunch Money was there, Cliff was there, like Rob was there all the way from California.
Guys, can I come join all the cool kids, please? And I don't even say that sarcastically. Like, if I could come hang out, I will.
I think they had like 70 something comic book YouTubers there hanging out. Also going to the biggest comic book Comic Con or comic book based Comic Con that's not a pop culture one. Yeah.
Well,
See,
while you were talking, I checked my calendar, and June is wide open. So,
I think it's Father's Day weekend. So just
well, I've got no kids that I know of. So,
all right. Um, so was there any mistake that you made early on that you wish that somebody had warned you about? Uh,
yes. Back to Tom Anderson, the Silver Age Comics. He really gave me great feedback at the beginning, because when you're doing anything, whether it's your band or anything you're into, everybody's always like, "You did a great job, everything's awesome," but you really do need this little person in your ear giving you good feedback. And I appreciate good criticism. I'll never forget when I was in my first band. We didn't know what we were doing. I certainly didn't know what I was doing. I was just yelling. And we played a gig once, in Massachusetts. It was at a club called the Red Square. And we played with a bunch of local bands. And I'm sure we were, terrible, but having fun. And we got off stage, and a great friend of mine, Steve Nelson, was there. He was in a band called Dread that were also on the bill. And everybody always says, you get off stage and they always say, "Hey, it sounded awesome, man. Great job, everything." And I love that. Don't get me wrong. And I said, "Steve, hey, what did you think?" And he goes, "Your drummer can't keep time. I don't think your bass player knows how to play bass." And it was kind of a mess. And it was a wake up call. And I'm never going to forget that. I'm never going to forget that conversation, because I had to he wasn't insulting me. He was giving me good criticism, good constructive criticism. And that's what I love about my friend Tom that does the pressing and submitting for me. He said to me, "Randy, your videos are too long. I have a video that's at least an hour." He goes, "There are people that will watch it." Like, I have my friend Comic Carl, I call him. He would be commuting in his car and he'd have an hour commute. And he says, "I'll throw a Randy video on. It'll keep me busy like a book's on tape." But a lot of people will see an hour and they're like, "Ugh." Like, so I had to learn to get it down to more digestible chunks. And then he said to me, "Why don't you split up your CGC unboxing videos and get more content? Part one, part two."
yeah.
So that was the big thing that I learned there, is stretch out the content a little bit, and don't have such long videos. And that helped immensely. It honestly did.
Well, and also probably don't come out with the big guns at the very first.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't know I was going to do a second video. What did I know?
Yeah.
I was just going to do one video from my first CGC. It just happened to have Avengers #4 and the first Green Goblin and the first Wolverine. That's what was there. I didn't know there was a #2 coming. Hi,
Yeah.
Carissa.
The Avengers #4, that was the one that I talked about in the video where I got scammed.
Oh,
Yeah.
so my
But I got my
Avengers
money back.
#4 was my first big boy book, and I do talk about it in that video. Bronze Age Bill is here, Carissa. Bill, say hi to Carissa if you're still there. Um, that was my first big boy book. I was so long ago and I was so poor. I bought the book at my New England Comics. My friend worked there, and I put it on layaway.
Okay.
And I remember it was $175, and I ended up getting it for like $85. And that was my first big boy book. It was in a Mylar bag, and it sat there since 1990 until I submitted it 2 years ago. And it is in beautiful condition. If I have one book that is a potential crack and resubmit, it's that one. I'm telling you. I hate that it was drama or whatever it was, but I'm telling you, and I hate to sound like a whiner and complainer, that book was not a 5.0. It was absolutely not. That book should have been minimum a 6. And if I had any cojones, I would crack and resubmit it, but I haven't got there yet.
Could be a challenge video or something like that.
That's what Tom said to me. He goes, dude, videotape yourself cracking it and submitting it and everything like that. And then you'll have content for, whatever. I don't think like an influencer about how trying to have content all the time and what could be good for content. And I'm trying to be better about that. I just got a new tattoo. You can't see it. You'll see it soon. But I put up a short on YouTube about it and I put it on Facebook and everything. And I said, oh, and it's a Spider-Man tattoo. So it's very relevant to the channel. And I said, let me think like an influencer or a content creator. And I almost said videotaped. Tell me you're old without telling me you're old. I videotaped it. I had my camera on my shoulder. But anyway, I'm trying to think better about that. And not just because I want more viewers or subscribers. I just think it's fun content people are going to enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, there's another comic book YouTube or another comic book content creator that's going to I think going to be live streaming a tattoo that he's going to be getting here soon, I believe.
Oh God. If I would, so my artist, his name is Tyler Malik. He's at Underworld Tattoos. Go find him on Instagram. His work is fantastic. If anybody's seen my videos, you can see a lot of the stuff that I've done. That's Darth Maul there. He's really good. Him and I are like, you hear me talking now. We're sitting there for 8 hours talking nonstop. Like that would be the funniest live stream to hear because we never stop talking. It could be about philosophy. It could be about cars. It could be about tattooing. It could be about anything. But the two of us nonstop the whole time. I should live stream it next time.
Cliff is the one that's getting the tattoo because he told Rob and Mark and DJ that if the Comics Curing Cancer campaign hit $60,000 by the end of the weekend of C3, he would get a Comics Curing Cancer tattoo on his arm.
I love it.
And they did. So he's going to be live streaming that when he goes to get it.
I don't know.
I believe that's the plan.
I don't know how you invite people to things, but please invite me to that. I want to see that.
Just subscribe. If somebody can drop Cliff's link in the chat so people can subscribe.
I'll say this. I'm sorry to do it. My email address, because you can't really communicate on YouTube, which I like and don't like, but my email address is easy. swarmofcomics@gmail.com. Send me your links. Send me your page. Send me what you want to follow. I am a habitual follower backer. Instagram, YouTube, whatever it happens to be. I'm happy to. So please, guys, email me with that or comment on one of my videos. So.
All right. Well, speaking about communicating and stuff like that, since how do you engage with your community? Or do you have, I mean, what's the best way that you engage with your subscribers or people? I mean, do you have a bigger following on Instagram versus YouTube or?
No, I actually hate Instagram. And I go in spurts on there. If I happen to have it up on a tab on my thing, I'm like, and I have a photo of a comic, I'm like, I'll throw something up there. But what I found with Instagram, and people had encouraged me like, hey, push your channel on Instagram. It's just all people who want to sell you things, which is fine. I like buying things. Or they want to sell you their service of doing art for something. And it becomes, I didn't find the sense of community I just find in the comments of my videos.
Right.
I really have considered a Facebook page, which again, almost seems egotistical, but would be a really good way of communicating with people and talking and stuff like that. But Instagram wasn't it. Instagram wasn't it. It's a place there's some cool stuff on there, but it was 100%. I love the comments on my videos, and I can get a lot of comments for me. I mean, sometimes there's 40 or 50 comments on there, and I love replying to them. I get excited when I see it. So the way that I engage with the community has honestly just been there. Instagram was a flop, but I'm considering Facebook as well.
One thing I really like about Instagram and that is the way you're able to reach out to people. Because
what happened here.
Right, because YouTube does not have a very good way of connecting for the actual conversation with a person, because like I can comment on your video and you might see it when I do it, or it might be a little bit, so there's not as much real time back and forth interaction.
Right.
If YouTube had a direct messaging aspect to it, that would be a great way
Yeah.
to.
That's what I said earlier is that that's one of the things I don't like about it. The YouTube is that not being able to do that messaging on there in some way. There must be some statistical reason why, some reason that they have figured out to not do that. But that's a great point because Instagram has been good for that. But the problem is, for every one great message I get from like someone like you or Rob, um, or another great guy, Slick Jolly, the other day reached out to me about wanting to buy a comic from me. We ended up doing a trade. That was excellent. But the problem is the other 2,700 messages are just junk people trying to sell me their service. Their channels keep getting, their pages keep getting closed and they open a new one and stuff. It's how do you filter out the junk?
Right.
Like I have 900 followers. Like there's no way I should have 900 followers. There's just obviously people just trying to sell you something or push their business on you. It's less of a sense of community, but the communication aspect is great. So I am Swarm of Comics on Instagram. So please follow me there. There's not a ton of content, but if you want to reach out to me, that is an awesome way to do that. And I appreciate you bringing that up.
I know one thing I'm going to look at possibly doing is setting up a Substack for I Have Comic Issues.
I'm so old, I don't know what Substack is.
It's kind of like a combination newsletter versus website. So it's another way, kind of like a link tree type thing.
More
But it's
work for me to do, it sounds like, Bryant.
well, yeah, but it's something that you can own. I
Got
mean,
it.
it's like your own. The only thing in this digital world that we can actually own is one, our videos, but we don't own the place to show the videos. So the only other thing that we can own is a email list or something like that. Because if Instagram goes away, if YouTube goes away, Facebook or anything, you have no way of communicating with people.
Right.
So the only way to communicate would be through email.
Hey, Steve Hughes.
Hello?
Hey, Kenneth Bird.
Yep. So you mainly just communicate with people through your comments.
So far, yeah.
Do you use the community aspect of YouTube, that community tab, very much, or do you make posts or anything like that too often? Or do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't, but I did just discover there's posts on there, and I've
Yeah,
started to post on there. I've got some comments, and I haven't taken full advantage of it
I
yet.
think I think the place where you can see that is under it's under community
Yeah.
on your studio app or something like that. I think that's where you can
Oh, I
see
see
it.
it. I see community.
Yeah.
Somebody commented and said, "You're turning into a celebrity. Don't get
Oh,
too big time on us." Oh, that was Garth. Um, but yeah, I'll have to take more advantage of that. But I do see that now. But comments has been mostly it for me. And what's funny is I love the comments and I love responding to them and stuff. But I did have this funny thought. It's funny because Carissa said, um, you know, where did I see that? I hope he remembers this at 1 million subs. I'm never going to get 1 million subs. I'm probably never going to get anything more than what I have now. But I did think, what happens if I do start getting more comments? Like, have I gotten myself into a pickle where I've got to do it? How much time am I going to spend? What if I get thousands of comments? But I think that's a fantasy. We won't have to worry about that.
well, when you're sitting on the couch watching TV, you can just comment.
Exactly.
And Carissa said, go to your local cons and see if you can do some tours and stuff like that.
Carissa, it is so funny you even say that. I don't know whether I've said that in a video or not, but I absolutely have some great small cons around here like that con in Concord, New Hampshire and stuff like that. A bunch of small ones, Northeast Comic Con over in like Bucksboro or whatever. I have 100% going to set up, and I think 2026 might be the year, a live streaming booth and just talk to people and meet people, even if it's just for a laugh. What's the booth cost? $150. It'd be funny to get up there and live stream from there. That is so funny you said that because I'm 100% going to do that. My bass player, Jeff, He is also a great artist, and he's like, I can draw like pictures for people, like do commissions, and you can just stream and just talk the whole time. So that is absolutely uh,
That
a,
might be some. That might be some must see TV.
it could be fun.
All right, now I'm about to. This question is actually my most or favorite question because I really like the tech side and stuff and gear and tools. So, what tools, gear, or apps have made the biggest difference in your growth?
Um, I don't. So I don't know how they contributed to growth unless we can say certain things like thumbnails are able to help you grow, and I do think they do have an influence. I pride myself on my thumbnails. I spend far too much time on them. I spend endless amount of time on it and to be creative. And there's aspects of them that people are never going to see on their phone when it flickers by for 1 second, but it entertains me and it's interesting to me. There's the little inside jokes or little things that people are never going to see, but it entertains me. But the tools there have the growth have been I've used Photoshop. I use an outdated version of Photoshop that's probably 20 years old,
Oh
but
wow,
I know how to use it. I have no formal training in it, but I've used it for my bands and doing music and things for people. It's CS3, Photoshop CS3, which I think came out in 2002. Somebody can
you
correct me.
you sound like my dad.
That's
That was
okay.
because
That's okay.
my dad is an artist and also owned a frame shop and did photo restoration and stuff like that. But he had his one version of Photoshop that he knew how to do it. And I'm like, Dad, we can upgrade. It has all. He goes, no, I know how to do it this way. I'm not changing. I'm like, okay.
I know how to do it.
He's still rocking an iPhone 7 right now.
But thankfully, mine's a new Android phone. I keep up with the phone technology. See,
Right.
I don't know the word I'm looking for here. Like some of the times I'm like an old person saying videotape, and I don't know what a Substack is. But other times, like with AI, I'm right on the top of the crest of that wave. I'm a weird conundrum there, or dichotomy, or something like that. But to get back to landing the plane and answering the question is that how I've grown with new apps. So my wife introduced me something called Canva.
Okay.
Canva is she uses, and using that in combination with Photoshop is great because Canva has some little tools like background remover. What I should do is get a green screen somewhere in my house and take photos for my thumbnails where I'm doing things like, but instead I do that on my computer with the background, and Canva just has an app that just cuts it all out for you. And I was like, game changer, because I was literally doing it by hand in Photoshop. Canva was background remover, game changer. The next game changer was AI, sensitive subject for people, especially creators and artists. I'm an artist, a digital artist. I can draw. I'm an artist. I'm in a band, and I embrace AI as a tool, not to replace things. Cliff loves Canva too.
So does Digger Jim.
So yes, Canva's really good. I wish I knew it even better. And yes, I have to get a green screen. Um, but AI is the next step for me. When you see my thumbnails, you'll be able to tell it's AI. I didn't draw these things. I don't have time to draw all of them. But AI isn't making my thumbnail for me. AI is making pieces of it for me. Photoshop, good old fashioned photographs on the camera, Canva, AI, all different tools that I use. And they've all contributed to maybe things looking more fun, more professional, and making better um, uh, quality thumbnails. And I also upgraded from my crappy webcam. This isn't too crappy. This is actually a better one. I paid good money for this one, but I use it for work.
Right.
And I eventually got a camera. If you guys are not following Doghouse Comics on YouTube, please do that. Stefan is a saint. He's a beautiful person. He's up in Canada. He sent me a whole bunch of books for free that I try to buy from him. They were all those Alex Ross covered ones, the solo covers. Love him and love his channel. But he did a video about a new camera he got. And I went and found it on a little bit cheaper version of it, a Sony camera on Amazon with a whole package. It was like a package deal. It came with the case and lights and microphones and everything as like a package deal. That was a game changer for better quality videos, better sound, and everything like that. So those are the ways that I think those two things have helped make a difference in my growth. More professional looking. I went back and looked at some of my earlier videos just as fun, and I was like, they're so fuzzy, and the sound is so terrible. No, it sounds like I literally was in like the bathroom recording it on my flip phone from 2004, my Razor. Still the best phone ever.
So what program do you use to edit your videos?
Great question. I use something, my friend, I'm going to sound like I'm just promoting everybody, but I guess that's how we do it. I have a friend, he has a channel called The Joy of Cardboard. He talks about the baseball cards he collects. He talks about the comic books he collects, and almost everything is baseball themed.
Okay.
That's his big love. And his name is Max. He's a great guy. And he couldn't be in here tonight. He told me that he's eating pizza tonight, so he couldn't be on watch it. So that's fine, I guess. I said, you can watch it later when you're done with your pizza. But he introduced me to an editing software called Kden Live, KDEN Live. Free download. They update it all the time. And it actually works fantastic. Has wonderful effects, sound mixing. Yep. KDEN Live. Fantastic application. I use it for all of my editing. You can add text to the screen. You can bring in all different photos, sound, everything. I do everything in Kden Live, and it's free. It works great.
And so that's where you do all your editing for your videos?
That's where I do all my editing, my videos. I used to use Zoom. I just use Zoom calls for recording, and then I would edit them in Kden, but then I moved over to that camera, and that was really good. Yeah, so I do all the editing. Boom, everything.
Okay, so you just record on the camera, then bring all the raw footage into that?
Yeah, you just grab any of your files and drag it right into the little project bin, and everything goes in, and you bring it down to all the tracks. You just drag and drop. It's very easy, pretty simple to use. And I'm going to say this. Even though I'm sure someday soon AI is going to take my job from me, I'm still a proponent of AI for a lot of things. And when I want to learn something about Kden, I know that I can look in the help, but honestly, I use ChatGPT and I say, hey, listen, I want to be able to just create some text on the screen without having to drag in another image. How can I do that? And it gives you super simple steps because it went and read all the help for me, so I didn't have to. So make sure you're using AI if you're using even the free versions for stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I use.
Speaking of AI and that, which AI do you use to help you with your thumbnails for parts of it? Or is it, or are you talking about the Canva AI, or is there another specific?
At this point, I just use ChatGPT. I have a paid version of it. And I'm going to say this, and it's much the same with software development that we find. Because everybody says, well, oh, AI is just going to write the code for you, and you're just going to check it and make sure it looks good. We're just going to need people to check the code. No. People spend more time looking at the code because it's maybe 60% right. Then you've got to edit it and figure out what's wrong. I find the studies I've seen say using AI to write code can actually take you more time than it took before when you were writing it by hand yourself.
Depending on if you know code.
Correct. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the AI can help you write the code. So I use the ChatGPT to help me with things, but I do find sometimes it takes longer. I'm like, sometimes I say, I could just do this in Photoshop faster myself. So, but when I say to it, hey, turn Randy into looking like Mighty Mouse, I get a picture of Mighty Mouse, otherwise I would have to find a picture of Mighty Mouse, take a picture of my head, cut it out in Canva and stick it on there. I use it for things like that.
Have you tried Nano Banana?
Never even heard of it. Nano Banana.
Yeah, Nano Banana. It's through Google. It's their new image generator, and it technically costs money, but here's a free workaround for everybody that wants to know about it. Go to look up AI or Google AI Lab Studio or something like that. It's their developer side of it where they're working out their kinks and stuff,
Okay.
or the bugs. But you can go in there and choose Nano Banana, and it's a really good image generator thing. And you can put in, you can actually, here's the workaround or hack that I do. I'll ask ChatGPT to give me a prompt to take the Nano Banana to put in, and then you can choose the aspect ratio for the thumbnail in Nano Banana, like locked it in, because I know that
Yeah.
I've had problems with ChatGPT where it won't get the aspect ratio correct.
It doesn't, the 16:9 aspect ratio, because you have to talk to ChatGPT or tell it to save it for you. My canvas has to be wide with padding and so forth to be able to do it. I do find it. So that's a great tip, because one of my biggest struggles is I say, hey, give me a purple background with a zip tone design, just something to throw on there. You'll see it actually in the video I put up today, advertising for this. Marcel, Nano Banana is my OnlyFans username. Okay.
But yeah, definitely check out that, because
Sorry.
you can choose the aspect ratio. It literally has a drop down with all the different aspect ratios that you would
Give you a
need.
canvas of a set size. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And that's a big thing you mentioned. I don't want to get into the AI much more, but it is a big tool, is being able to, and I've talked to my brother, Bill, Bronze Age Bill, about having him use it more for things and talking about how you do prompts. I'm not a prompt engineer or prompt expert, but I've learned, this is the one tip I would give, and then I won't talk about AI anymore. You can talk to ChatGPT or the AI to help you write the prompt to then give them.
right.
Say, hey, I would like you to write a prompt to be able to give me an image that looks like me as Mighty Mouse without violating any intellectual property. And it'll say, all right, this is how we'll write it. Do you want me to do that? And then it'll say, I can't do that. You violated IP content. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, those are the tools I use and how I feel they've helped my growth. How they've helped my growth. Sorry, I'm going to give you a real answer. How those tools have helped my growth since the beginning is that they help me get my content out faster so I can be consistent. What you'll notice if you go back and look at my channel for Swarm of Comics is it's complete inconsistency of putting out videos, sometimes waiting a month or weeks to put out videos because I got stuck on things like editing or thumbnails and so forth. Once I had tools to help me go, I have so much content. I have content already queued up in YouTube going into December because I have so much that I've done because I'm able to catch up
Right.
and get ahead that I'm not nervous. And then I'm not like, oh God, now I don't have content. What am I going to do? I'm so far ahead. I can't wait to get stuff out. You know, I'm now I'm antsy. I'm like, come on, hurry up and get these videos out.
I did miss a question earlier, and
God damn it.
but this is a good one. It's, what is your process for planning and producing a video from idea to upload?
Yeah, that's a great question that I'm totally unprepared for, and I did not see the question beforehand. Um, I like to plan around CGC submissions. I know when they're coming. I don't ever peek to what's in them, but I know when they're coming.
Okay.
So my planning for that is, okay, I know I'm going to have a CGC coming in a couple of weeks. So let's plan other content. Is it a top 10 list? Is it a Randy's rundown? Is it a helmet unboxing? I just happened to have done a bunch of pre-orders for helmets earlier in the year, and they all came the same day. Hasbro just said, here's all of them at once. So I start to plan and how to space them out. I want to mix up the content. I don't want it to just be unboxing, 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 unboxing. I plan around mixing up the different types of videos.
Right.
Even though I know unboxing videos are going to get the most views, that's not what's important to me. So that's my planning. What's coming up in front of me? What do I have to fill time? And so that's how I start with my planning. I plan it very much around CGC submissions. And then what's that?
I was going to say, on the individual video, do you come up with your title and your thumbnail first, or you just have your overall idea and you record the video and then do title and thumbnail based upon what you did?
I record the video, but I definitely, depending on what it is, I look for my hook right at the beginning because I record the intro first, and then I record the video afterwards. What's the phrase I'm looking here for here? Everything. Somebody in the comments tell me when I record everything in the correct time order. Like when they film a movie, they don't always film it at the same time.
Okay. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what the.
Can't think of that word. It's this close. It's right in the tip of my tiny brain. But anyway, I kind of try to come up with the hook for the intro, and then I just go crazy with the video. And then what I do is when I go to edit it, I watch it back and I say, what did I unbox that would be a good, catchy thumbnail? So when I just did a 2-part CGC unboxing, the first one had a Marvel Spotlight 5. And I was like, well, there's your hook. Everybody loves
Right.
Ghost Rider. But in the second one, I really didn't have a hook, and I had to think it through, watch the video multiple times, brainstorm, and sometimes it stresses me out and slows me down. Chronological. Thank you, Professor Bill. Professor Bronze Age Bill.
And Cracks said it also. So.
Yes. Oh, Cracks in time. You guys are so smart. I love you guys. So when going to the second video, I said the best option here is Mighty Mouse. But that's not going to bring in people, but that's okay. I can be creative and be fun with it.
Right.
But that's the process. I go in, I kind of have my hook that I come up with the intro video, I unbox, I jump into editing, and while editing and going through it again, because nobody likes to watch themselves over and over. I don't want to watch my video again any more times than I have to. So during the editing process, I say, okay, here's the hook. Here's the hook, and here's what I'm going to do for thumbnail. And then I start sometimes it just comes to me and I love it. Sometimes it just comes to me like that Bronze Age top 10 of my books with the Giant Size X-Men would just what came naturally. It's the videos that I stumble with. I have some great people that I talk to, some great creative people. My brother Bill, my friend Lana Cooper, she's on YouTube as well. Wish I could remember the name of her channel. And she's a writer. My brother's a writer. I know a lot of writers. I know a lot of creative people, and I run a lot of things by them, and they're always a huge help to me. So, once I get the thumbnail down, boom, then I'm into the easy parts, writing the title. No, that's not how. Sometimes the title is you've got 100 characters on YouTube. How do I get your attention?
Yeah.
Besides the thumbnail. How do I get your attention? How do you and I talked about this at the beginning. Write a description, make sure remember to put the links in. So that's my process. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Carissa had a question. If either of us have reached out to our local comic shops about any form of sponsorship, if they give you $100 worth of store credit, pick up new books to do reviews and exchange, you name drop them. Well, I do actually have a channel sponsor, and that is Ron's Comic Closet, and he's my local online LCS. I mean, he is local to me, but he actually runs a online comic book store called Ron's Comic Closet. And if you use code I have issues at checkout, you'll get 20% off your first purchase with Ron's Comic Closet.
I feel like this is a setup. Did Carissa set you up for this?
But he gives me a discount on my new releases that I get, and I shout them out. So
I love it. So I will answer the wonderful question. And this is another example of why I feel like I'm never stopped learning here, is because even though I've watched other people do their promo codes and this and that, I've never said to myself, I should do that. And I think the confidence isn't the right word, but
imposter syndrome.
What's that? Yeah, imposter syndrome. Thank you. That's the great phrase. We're doing lots of good phrases today. Randy brain not work. Randy brain bad. But imposter syndrome. Who's ever going to pay me or give me a disc? Who's even going to watch these videos? You know who watches these videos? My mom. My mom watches my videos. She's the first one I tell. I love my mom. My stepdad Larry watches them too, and everybody watches them, and I love them for it. But they're not sponsoring me. But I do love them, and thank you. And it's definitely imposter syndrome. That's a great question. I mean, we already went over the fact that I didn't even want to mention my local comic shop, never mind asking for a promo. But the first thing I thought of is my local comic shop, the Comic Book Palace in Haverhill, Massachusetts. He's so good about negotiating and bargaining with books that I buy. He's got a wall book up there, and I grab 2 or 3 of them. I just throw them down and say, what can you do on these? And he always gives me a good discount. Like, I've been getting that type of discount. And He's always done that for me. So hopefully he keeps doing it, and I'll just keep trying to promote and help him. But sort of an unofficial way, he's been helping. I'll promote him, and he's been helping me.
Um, just and that, or something that I do on my process for on the video aspect is I use the free versions on my Windows computer for I think it's called Clipchamp from Microsoft. Clipchamp is their video editing software, or CapCut. Um, and you can drop your video in there and tell it to do auto cutting, and it will actually give you a transcript of your video, all the text and everything. And then I'll take that over to our favorite assistant, ChatGPT, and drop it in there and say, read this and tell me what the best video or best title should be. Or no, I say, as a YouTube strategist and SEO expert, what is the best video title I should have for this transcript?
Or go into Notebook LM and drop the actual video in there, and it will watch it and do the same thing for you. So I also use Notebook LM, and I use Gemini, because the different ones have different strengths on them.
Oh, and here's a strength about Notebook LM. It's one of the only AIs that won't hallucinate, because it only works off of the source that you dropped into it. Whereas the other ones will go off on a tangent.
I've never come across hallucination, thankfully.
Oh, I have so many times when I was doing the Comic Issues Daily show, because I was doing an episode about Superman that had just released, and because ChatGPT was pulled its information from a year or two ago, it was saying Superman will release in June. I'm like, well, it's now August and it's already happened. And I've never cussed at an AI as much as I have when trying to do those videos.
Well, I'm glad you've got a great deal set up with Ron's Comic Closet.
Thank you. But yeah, I'll use that to get the title ideas from the transcripts. I hadn't thought about the Notebook LM, but I have been using that here recently with the Comic Issues Daily to kind of help with that. That's funny.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I'm telling you that the comments on my page are good comments there.
But that's kind of my process. I mean, I do the video first and then come up with the title and the thumbnail afterwards.
Same. Yep, definitely same.
I gotta know what's in the book before I can come up with what to call it. All right, last question I got for you is, what advice would you give to someone that is trying to start a comic book YouTube channel today? Or it could be any type of channel, but what kind of YouTube advice would you give someone?
So it'd start with the cliche advice of, don't be afraid to start it.
Always
right, Rick is, I'm sure Rick is here somewhere. My friend Rick said to me, I'm thinking about starting a channel, doing this or whatever. He almost said, talk me out of it or give me the lowdown. And I gave him all the information about it, how much time it is, how much effort, about everything like that, the frustrations sometimes, everything like that. And he read it all and he said, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. And I love that. But I gave him real feedback. But I wanted him to start it. I said, good, go do it. I'll follow it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. And don't think you need to be a professional. Don't think you need the best camera. You don't need the best video. Just get your phone and record. You know what I mean? I think that's all Jim from Bronzeville does. I think he just records on his laptop, just with his laptop screen. You don't have to be an influencer like a Kardashian or anything like that. Just go do it. I didn't think about it. I just did it. And then I figured it out. And you start figuring out from everybody else. Like, don't even wait. Just do it. If you have an idea and you want to have fun with it. But if you're going in to be an influencer and you're going in to be rich, you're going in to be famous, you're going into whatever, that's probably not the best approach to go in, especially for a comic book channel. Unless you're, really humble and handsome. But yeah, just don't even think about it. Just do it. You need minimal tools. You just need your phone. Even just shorts. Shorts is fantastic. That's what I'll tell people. I wish I started doing shorts sooner. My shorts, I threw up one yesterday, and it kind of dragged at the beginning of the day, and then by the end of the day, it had 1,400 views. Every short I put up is 1,400 views, and I feel like if I keep utilizing that, that's going to get into the many thousand views.
How
So
many
that'd be my advice.
are you looking at your watch hours on the shorts?
So no, at the beginning, I looked at my analytics once, and I saw how little people actually watched the video, and then I never looked at my analytics again because I didn't want to know. But again, back to the videos are too long. I'm having my Aunt Peggy watch the video. Well, she doesn't want to watch 45 minutes of me talking about comic books. She watches it, gets a view in, and moves on. So when I put out a 45-minute video and the average watch time was 7 minutes, I said, I don't want to know anymore. Sometimes what you don't know,
Yeah.
Nando. Where is Nando? With the muscles. Oh, what's this? I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments. I'm giving away a sick G-Shock in about 35 minutes on the channel. Cracks in Time on YouTube. So if anybody likes watches, or like watches for children because they look like children's watches, or like Transformers, go to Cracks in Time, and he's going to be doing a giveaway for subscribers on there. I'm just kidding. His channel's awesome.
Okay. And that's the name, just Cracks in Time.
Yeah. Cracks in Time. It's about watches. So if you find Cracks in Time and it looks like watches, yeah,
you're probably in the right spot.
You're probably in the right spot.
All right. So any other advice that you would give someone new to YouTube? Just do it.
I would say do what I didn't do at first. Start getting into the community. Start following as many channels as you can. Start pursuing things like I've just been lucky. A couple of people have asked me to be on their live streams here at podcasts, but don't wait around for those things. It's okay to go out and say, hey, I see you do a live cast. I'd love to be on it. Like, get out there and be your own. Don't have imposter syndrome. Be your own best salesman.
Right.
Believe in yourself and have fun and get out there. So that would be a big thing that I would tell people to do. Follow the channels. Get involved in the communities. Cracks into, okay. You know what? As much as I love Carissa Eaton here, showing me up on my live stream here. Okay, we're gonna have a talk about this later. So
that would be a great plumbing channel.
Probably get more views than I do. Right? Am I gonna have to start? We're having plumbers cracking my videos to get more. Slow-mo crack shots. Okay, wow.
All right.
But the last thing I would say, I'm sorry, I do want to get it out there, is I would say is that it is a nice ego boost to have a channel, but don't get bummed if you're not getting a million likes and stuff like that. Appreciate the ones you do have. Somebody once said to me, so I'm in a band, and we were playing a gig one time, and it's one of those funny cliches if anybody's in the music business ever, or anything. Maybe it's in the arts. You have an arts and you're in an art studio, and everybody says they're going to show up. Oh, I'll be there. You'll even get text messages, hey, I'm on my way. And then they don't show up. And I was bummed at a show once, and somebody said, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know, all these people said they were coming and they didn't show up. And they said to me, you see all the people are here? Appreciate the people are here that did come out. Don't worry about what you didn't get. Worry about what you do have.
Right.
And I'll never forget that advice either. And I appreciate if I have 24 views on a video, I'm happy with those because I know those people enjoyed the content. And that's, if you look at it like that when you're starting a channel, that'd be my advice. Randy and I are metal bands, so we're used to failure. There's a great saying, guys. You want to know how to make $1 million in a band? Start with $2 million.
All right. Nice advice. So Randy, what do you have coming up on the Swarm of Comics YouTube channel, or anything else you want to plug? When's your next date for Swarm of Eyes? Or
yes, Swarm of Eyes is actually playing on November 22nd at a club called Kodo in Lowell, Massachusetts. We're on a wonderful bill. A band is called Fallen Monarch. And their vocalist is a fantastic artist who does posters and artwork all in the industry and heavy metal and stuff like that. But they're doing an album release show on November 22nd at Lowell at Kodo. Swarm of Eyes will be there. And we also have another show at the end of December in Salem. Which city? at a place called Moonbase One, which is a cool name, all ages show on December 27th there. And that's what we have at the moment for Swarm of Comics. Like I said, I've got a ton of stuff queued up. I have a unboxing of the Spider-Man expressive helmet mask coming out. I've also got a helmet unboxing of the Death Trooper from Star Wars.
Okay.
That one I actually did 5 seconds of research on. So you're actually going to be informational, not just me figuring out how if a helmet can fit on my big head. You'll learn a little bit about the Death Trooper. But the other really big thing that I have coming out, and if you don't mind, I'm going to push this for 2 seconds, and I hope you guys all do this. There's a great channel called Everyone's Interesting. I mentioned it earlier. Greg Allange does that. I was just featured on his channel. Find Everyone's Interesting on YouTube. And it's a split into two because Randy. The first one is talking about music, my background in music and bands and things like that. That came out last week. It's got some great views on it, but I'd love it if you guys go follow it, subscribe to his channel, and go watch that video. Next week, I think on Friday next week, they'll be releasing part 2, and that's when I talk about Swarm of Comics and comic books and how I got into comic books. So that'll really be relevant to you guys if you're into comic books. So go find and follow that. While I was doing that podcast with Greg, I, of course, invited him to be on my show, and we have a fantastic video that'll be coming out. Let me just figure when that is. That's on November 14th, so that'll be next week. Greg is on. He co-hosts with me, and we go over some comics he brought. Very short. I won't keep this too long because I know we're over time. Greg, watching my channel, started looking at his comics. He hadn't collected comics since the 90s, since Image hit. And then he never collected again. But he had like 1982 to 1992 of collecting, and he still had like 6,000 books. Just carrying them long boxes from house to house over the years, not doing anything with them.
Oh, wow.
And he has 2 boys, one's in high school and one's in college. And his college son, Jake, decided, let's do this as a project together. He started seeing my videos. They started going in comic book stores saying, wait, I think I have some of these books and I think they're expensive. And he started going through them, and I came over his house. They got out what they felt was a short box full of the best books. And let me tell you, it's all ticks the boxes of all bronze and modern age, late bronze, modern age bangers. And hey, finally made it. Looking good, guys. High Grade Keys, Comic Carl, showing right 2 minutes before the video ends. I love you, buddy. Hello in Florida. We were talking about you earlier, so watch it again afterwards once it goes up post live. But the video with Greg is him and his son bonding over this collecting and going through their collection and him passing it down to him.
Okay.
And not selling it to me, unfortunately. But this is just, he brings on just a handful of the bangers, but I wish he brought even more. I should have been more specific. I should have said, bring the whole short box, but we talk about them, and he'd love to get them graded at some point. He doesn't know anything about grading or anything, but to preserve them and pass them down. But so that video is coming out on the 14th, and that'll be an excellent, really fun. I mean, everybody I think loves a video. We talked earlier about everybody loves bad news, but I also think everybody loves seeing these barn finds,
Right.
Barn finds, attic finds, basement finds, or whatever it is. And I'd love to get them on again and go over more of the books. But when we get them graded, we'll definitely unbox them and talk about them. We'll get some more great content. So it's a really good feel-good story for them. So I've got a bunch of videos coming out, So.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I'll just shout out what I got coming up.
Please.
I got a giveaway that I won, or that was delivered yesterday, that I won from the Council of Comics last month. So I'll be doing a video about that, unboxing that one. Got some new books from the dollar bins that I'll do a video about. And then next week, I am in Comic Channel Origins. I am interviewing the Otaka Mike.
Mouthful.
So he is going to be my guest on Comic Channel Origins next week. at the same time. So please bookmark that, and it's already on the schedule. So come check that out. And I got to work on my restream here because I got a bunch of old photos in there too. All right, so that's what I got coming up there, and that's basically all I got. I got a little bit more free time since I'm not going to be doing the daily show anymore. So
That's
maybe I'll
good. That's
maybe I'll
good.
grow
I'll
some
make
hair
sure I
back or
check all that
something.
stuff out. I did want to mention I mentioned earlier that I did my first trade. I've never sold a book. I've never traded a book. And I
Okay.
did my first trade with one of my viewers, Slick Jolly, and I made a short about that because I just kind of, quick little 3-minute short that I'm going to post up on probably the beginning of this week in the next day or two as well. So that's coming as well. I'm just glad that I have such great content.
Cool. All right.
Bronze Age Bill is hopefully coming on again soon, Carissa. I'm trying to get him up here. I swear to you, Carissa has a crush on Bronze Age Bill. I'm gonna let him take over the channel. But sometimes I even let Bronze Age Bill talk during the videos.
Okay. All right. Well, Randy, thank you for being here. Chat, thank you all for being here also. And
Having me.
we're gonna let everybody get on with their Sunday night. So thank you for being here, and I hope that all of your issues are comics. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.